Okay, it's Tarot Ass Backwards here. It's March 27th again. I wanted to read on something strange, but something that had, um, I don't know how to read on it. Um, but I am going to use Scott Kubley's Farmer's Tarot, Scott Spiritual Essences channel. Um, that energy right before death, where they say everything, your whole life flashes in front of you. I want to know more about it. What I wanted to read on initially was the energy of nothingness, but the whole idea of nothingness implies there's something behind it. So it seems to me philosophically, linguistically, paradoxically, it wouldn't work because it would imply that there's something to it. So I thought the last second of our lives before we take that last breath, this isn't to be morbid, for entertainment purposes only. I want to know what the energy is. God of my angels, in the blink of an eye before we fall asleep, we feel the greatest relief. At night, when you are about to get a full night's shut-eye, that moment before you drift off, nothing at all could seem bleak. Yet when you're about to die, the impulse is always to fight against what comes next. Except it's no longer fight or flight. You have no choice. There's no way you're getting out of this into another life, or at least one that you can report on as being right. Our last vision here. God of my angels, thou Father art in heaven, my Father art in heaven. Show me the energy of the last seconds of life. Okay, starting with the Knight of Coins. Going with the flow and surrendering is the thing that sticks out most to me on this card. But when I think of the Knight of Coins, normally I think of a slow-moving offer or slow-moving sense of growth or evolution or wealth or something along those lines. So I want to say the energy of it as I see it based on that card is that we reflect on our life in a way that we don't reflect on it before, in the sense that it's not revelatory, but we even, and I don't even think it's about everything flashing before our eyes, because I'm not getting the sense of abundance with this card. I'm getting a hint at it. So I'm wondering if it's more about, on the other side, the lessons we're going to take with us that we might have gleaned from this life, where we have like just one more aha moment before we go. The greatest challenge to understanding that energy okay. I want to say Hierophant. This is the spiritual or male angel card. I think this is the greatest impediment to understanding that energy I just mentioned. is, how do you put it? Whatever the Bible's taught us, whatever religious dogma has taught us, maybe it's tinged with a little bit of not mysticism, but what's the word for which I'm looking? Some of the dogma that we've had imposed on us makes us fearful of it. And that's why we really aren't really reflecting with the depth that we might be, because what we're shown is so limited, and it's limited based on the work that we don't do with our own spirituality, is what I'm hearing. We rely too much on dogma and religious structure, and not enough maybe on meditation or those things that might be beneficial toward coming to peace with coming to peace, or being at peace, being at peace with being at peace. Energy in which we're sitting in. This is interesting. Death, obviously, dark times, transitions. This is the energy that we're sitting in. And that kind of harkens back to the challenge card, in the sense that who isn't afraid of death, or at least that's how I'm seeing it. In the past, ancestry, inheritance, 9 of coins, the richness of life, the bounty of life, the financial riches, the materialism, the pinnacles of materialist success. Those are the things that are getting in the way. But yet that was the past, that was life, and it is at the 9 point, which was the pinnacle, but then the bottom seems to fall out so quickly. And I can relate to that idea, because before there's the 10 and before there's the ending, if you've led a decadent life, as some people have that have led them to earlier graves, then you don't have that time for that introspection or reflection, much less in 1 second, right? Because either you've hurt your body so badly you're unrecognizable to yourself, you have no pride in yourself, and your DNA isn't what it once was. Meaning the smarts and and that's just a fact of life. It doesn't have to be everybody's fact of life, but it can be. Hold on a minute. I really want you to see this deck because I like the artwork in it. But some of it is really blurred by the light. Well, whatever. The all-around energy, or the overarching energy of the second before death, Queen of Cups, Summer. I'm going to say, because it's about keeping a lid on the emotion, courage. Courage before compromise and acceptance of meeting the end. That's what I see. The energy close to that transition, yeah, this would make sense, guys. It's depressing, but it's kind of true. Disaster, anxiety, ending, depressed nightmares. Nine or ten of swords, winter. So nine of swords is up at night constantly. So and yet there's still that component of not being able to be at a final resting place because that's not where you want to be. Even as much as until you're finally dead, until it's happened, you're fighting it. Just as I got from the card down here, which is the energy we're sitting in, the spirits, the death card, and then this nine of ten of swords, winter. That's the near future, and you're not coming to terms with it because even despite everything in your life that you've had to fight, you're not at peace as long as you're alive. You know, and what I mean by that is even if you do find peace on the other side, which no one really knows if that happens, the reckoning is with this life and not knowing what if I were successful or if I did what I needed to do to be in absolute utopia, if there is a utopian heaven, that type of thing. Energy we attract before we die. Five of Wands, and maybe we'll get the answer to that last question I just had about the utopian heaven. Five of Wands, spring. No, again, I'm seeing more battle. I'm seeing a battle with. If this is the battle to get to heaven, meaning the battle between good and bad spirits that are working, that you're attracting, maybe this is your life review. Maybe what this Five of Wands spring represents is that time when, things can change for the better. You can be free, but being free is going to mean coming to terms with that reckoning about which I just hinted. And I mean, obstacles, rivals, argue, lack of energy, conflict. That's the internal conflict. That might be the anxiety about the life review, the judgment. I mean, I know on the card Scott has argue, lack of energy, conflict, obstacles, rivals, but I'm moving in that direction with this. I mean, when Wands too are about impulse or about motivation, about impetus. So the impetus to either keep fighting and not face the reckoning because there are two opposing forces dueling for you based on that light that you're seeing or about to see, based on the reflection of your own life. Influence, Page of Wands, spring. This is interesting. The idea that we might have not realized our full potential as a child, or we get a glimpse into what our next life or life would have looked like if in that judgment we had done what we were supposed to do before we were afraid of the reckoning and took more account instead of what others thought of us on this earth with this hierarchy, this Hierophant card, and the material aspects of the world. We didn't take the spirituality seriously enough, so that's when death might become more of an issue about when it's looking at what you did or what you might do in the next life. That's what I'm getting from that card. And then hopes and fears, hermit. What I'm thinking here is with the hermit. That you're going to be exposed in heaven or you're going to be exposed in hell. Meaning there's no hiding what's coming next. It's about reckoning. And what I'm getting is that for better or for worse, it's about your true unveiling to someone else and to yourself. Meaning if you're in a hermit's den, you don't have to face yourself really, because it's through others that we do learn. And maybe in a situation where there's a life review, if we want to call it that, there is more of that going on. But it's through others we learn, and that's what we do here. So maybe that tactic sabotages us in the last moments of our life because we're not seeing through the transparency of the earthly deception of what other people think, when in reality it's what we need to think of ourselves, and what the creator is going to think based on that is going to dictate our life review and being held in a higher esteem if we do. Maybe, I don't know. That's what I'm getting, you guys. And then the near future, what do you call it? The future Ace of Swords. That's revelation. That's truth. That's literally the nanosecond it happens. And then the future outcome, or I guess you would call it the Great Beyond card. Queen of Wands, Spring. This is important, so I want to get this right. This whole reading's been important. What are you talking about? Queen of Wands, Spring. You're going to see Nancy Pelosi in it now. God is a woman. God is a woman, potentially. The breadth of life, the spark of life comes from women, and it comes from women who guide us over onto the other side. It's a female energy. It's someone who's fearless, who helps us get through the fear, or navigates us in such a way that even if we're in limbo or we don't go to heaven, we can be confident that the next part of the journey I'm hearing the word salvageable, meaning there'll be an aspect to our lives here that will be salvageable in the great beyond. Okay, bye.